Good morning. Another day. Just happens to be 11 days till hill climb. Got a big session today planned. It's one of my last big ones. No, 4x3 minute effort. That's come around fast, 20th of October, so it's 11 days until the big day. Charlie's here, she's just getting ready to go to work. Oh, well, we'll be going in 5 minutes, won't he? She's been prepping food and stuff for me, and we made tagine and soup. And when we get to Nationals Day and you're all there, that's the person you should be like. That's the person you should be congratulating and saying well done to. Because putting up with me is not an easy task.
Yeah, you're alright.
I'm alright, apparently. So I've got a morning session today, which I'm going to live stream because I want to give myself a bit of nerves, good nerves, by live streaming it. Basically, the last session, last big session. Probably going to talk about in this video how it's gone over the last couple of weeks, how training's gone, and sessions I've been trying to hit, and the progression and everything else. Because as you've seen, there's been an obvious progression in my fitness, particularly over these short efforts. So I'll break that down for you. I'm genuinely nervous about this session. The weather is horrendous outside, by the way. It's not cold, but it is lashing with rain. We had a lot of thunder last night, and the plan was actually to do this indoors anyway, because I wanted to create that bit of hype around like that nervous energy when I have to do it on a live stream. Plus it makes me dig a little bit deeper when there's people watching, and that kind of simulates what's going to happen at the National Hill Climb as well. 30-second stand-in effort to kick it off, which is going to be over 500 watts, and then I'm going to settle for 2.5 minutes. However I get the power up doesn't really matter. It's just going to be brutal, really, and that's why I'm pretty nervous about it. So I'm going to kick that off now. Those of you that watch the live stream, thank you. So yeah, just going to get locked in and complete the session, tick that box. Let's see how it goes. Let's get after it. Whoa, that was rough. That was rough. Well, I finished it, and I'm dead chuffed that I did, because it was not easy. I explained in the live stream, a lot of people asking, like, you know, why 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off, why that intensity, why this, why that. Obviously there's only so much I can answer when I'm flat out on a live stream, but sometimes, and especially if I'm training for a hill climb, and especially when I'm training for something like this, it's very specific. As everybody knows, the closer you get to your event, the more specific your workouts become, and sometimes the harder they become, because obviously you're fresher, you're more motivated, you know the story. So this session, the first 3 minute effort, I actually hit like pretty well, and throughout most of this prep, which has been basically the last like 6 or 8 weeks, I've been finding that my first effort in a lot of my interval sessions has been the best. Now, you might say, well, yeah, that's obvious, but it's never always been the case for me. Sometimes it's been like the fourth effort. But I've gradually become better at the first effort. And this first effort, to me, I actually did I was close. I was like 5 watts off my best indoor 3 minute power. And that was 450 watts. And I was saying to people on the live stream that I could probably have like had a better workout if I'd gone outside. I could have probably hit the numbers, because I didn't actually hit the numbers bang on. In my case, and in not everybody's case, in my case, it was more about just putting myself in a bit of a hole today. And this was about as like deep as I've gone for the whole 6 weeks. My freshness is almost at a peak, like I'm motivated, you know, I'm 10 days out or whatever it is, like I'm just ready. And this one was a really good example of like hurting myself and getting everything out
because my heart rate was like through the roof like for almost the whole 3 minutes, and having the hard start in each of these efforts really allowed me to achieve that, you know, really quickly. The first effort, as you can see, was like really strong, and then they fizzled out. But it doesn't mean it was worse, you know. It doesn't mean that, you know, I've got to sack the workout off. Like, it depends really where you are in your phases of training and everything. But you know, this has helped me like probably more mentally than physically today. I mean, it's helped me in both ways, but I've certainly like invested a lot mentally today, and by finishing I've ticked that box. So this is like the pinnacle almost of the last 6 weeks, where I've started off with like 30-second efforts, and then I've worked me up to 1 minute repeats, and then, you know, 1.5 minute repeats, and 45 seconds. I've done all of these type of, you know, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. And on days when I've like tested, so if I've done a 2 or 3 minute power test, I've then gone and done a couple of efforts on after it. It's all been kind of building, and with the national hill climb being like 3 minutes long, this is like, although there's 12 minutes work, not 3 minutes, I've invested a lot here today. So, you know, this is still, you know, 11 days out, and this is a real good box to tick what I've done today. So, okay, it's woolly hat time. Although I'm side so I probably don't need that. I have been out and about. I've just had a nice little packet of, do you like sweet and salty, just salty? Let me know. I'm a big popcorn fan. I'm going to try and blast through a bit of geeky numbers for you that I've just put together. I've just been looking at my power duration curve for like basically since the beginning of time, when I started using a power meter in 2013. I've listed down all of like the differences between my best 2.5 and 6 minute power in the last 2 months, because that's when I've been doing these efforts primarily. And what is the difference between the same time efforts back then, or for each of the years? It's quite interesting. I'm gonna have to show you down there, because for some reason it's turning out back to front on the camera. So here we go. So here I have 2013. Now most of this is self-explanatory, okay? So there isn't one point on here where I've done more power than I have done in the last 2 months. So that's brilliant, right? So what we have here is in 2013, which was my first year with a power meter, I was 61 watts lower than my best 2.5 minute power, which is now 520 watts. My 6 minute power of 450, I was 78 watts lower. Now, as you can imagine, as you come down the years, I'm getting better. You know, it's not linear, but it's getting better. The turning point is like here, 2017, where I really start to like come into my own with racing, with training and maturity, because I only actually started riding a bike a couple of years before this. So you're gonna see a fairly kind of basic improvement, and then you might see a fairly big jump. Everybody's different, of course, but here it starts to take a turn. 2018, I've circled this one and I've circled this one, because in those 2 years, these numbers, or rather these numbers, are taken from the National Hill Climb Championships in 2018 on P. Royd Lane, and this one was taken on a warm-up event, which was a race, on the same climb as the National Hill Climb Championships in 2020. So I was hyped for both of those, as you can imagine. What's interesting is that obviously 9 and 10 watts, 1 watt difference is marginal, but I'm doing 10 watts more than that now. And it's not even like, I'm not even on a peak day. My face is all red now because I've been leaning over. To say that I am not chuffed with that is an understatement. When you look at the numbers and you haven't like taken a good look back, you can really surprise yourself. And 10 watt, I feel like I can pull another 5 watts maybe out the bag. So a 15 watt improvement on something that's already considerably high is great. And that is a very select time scale. You know, that's 2.5 minute time scale. If I was to go to 3 minutes, if I was to go to 4.5 minutes, maybe anywhere around there, there could be a bigger difference. Of course, some of these years, I wasn't going for a 2.5 minute effort, but it's still great to see that overall trend. It doesn't really matter about specifics. It's still great to see that overall trend. So again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.